Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Here we have the dream position. White has the bishop pair. The position is open. White's pawn structure is better because black has an isolated pawn on the b file. There's a rook and a queen each, so white also has really good attacking chances. One more thing, black's king is not as safe as white's. So this really is the dream position for a d4 player. So let's take it from the top. In this video, we're going to have a look at Carlsen versus Giri in the Banter Blitz Cup on Chess24. So let's check out this game now. From this table, you can see Carlsen won the match 5.5, 1.5, and this is one of his victories. So let's begin. Carlsen has white, Giri has black. The game began. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, bishop b4. The Rogozin, and here e3 played. So we're going to get a Nimzo again. Castle and a3, putting a question to the bishop. Black doubles white's pawns, take, take, and now instead of going c5 like Carlsen did in the other game, Giri plays c6. So Giri's playing something different. My first question for white is, why not undouble your c-pawns? So this is Giri's idea, because doubled pawns can be a weakness, but if you have the chance to undouble them, then maybe your pieces can come to life. But let's check out black's idea. If you play cd5, take with the c-pawn, or else white plays c6, c4, and now b6. So the bishop can come to a6, but notice the c-file is now open, and it looks like black is the one who's going to get his rook to the c-file first. Doesn't matter that white has the bishop pair, because white is still behind in development. White hasn't castled yet, even though he has the bishop pair. Bishop e2, bishop a6, and if we take on d5, take, take, queen d5, and black is fine here. Black's moves are very easy to make, and this bishop isn't in the game at the moment. And notice, black has 2 versus 1 on the queen side. Black's moves are pretty easy. The knight is going to come to c6. The rook's into the middle. So I believe that is Giri's idea after c6. But he goes for a4, so white is trying to fight for a greater advantage. b6, just like before, and now a5. Bishop a6. Just like in the other line, because when white doesn't have his bishop pair, in these kind of structures, white doesn't really have an advantage. A takes b6, take, take, so both rooks are now in the game. Bishop d3, so we can't capture here because bishop c4, using the pin on the a file, so bishop d3, and now queen c8. You may be asking, what's the point of queen c8? If we play a normal move, maybe like knight d7, I think there might be an idea that Giri was afraid of. And it goes rook takes a6. And white gets a lot of compensation. And I'm sure Carlsen would have gone for this because it's just so interesting, and it's just so weird to have this opportunity. And it's a blitz game, so you might as well take it. Rook takes a6. Take on d5. Now you've got to move the rook. And then here, there's a choice. So let's take on e6. Take and castle. And we play from here. Queen e7. We can play queen b3. We can play e4. Both options look okay. If e5, maybe rook e1, play from here. If queen b3, rook on a1 is pretty useful. King h8, maybe e4, maybe c4. Rook a8, and the game can just continue from here. It's very interesting. The tension, maybe white is going to play e4, e5, then both bishops can come to life. The tension is very clear because it's like, in this weird type of middle game, white wants to keep that rook on the board. Black wants to keep this rook here, so then if this bishop moves, then we trade it down. Then white has less pressure. So very interesting exchange stack. Perhaps that's why Giri played queen c8. Castle, and now knight d7. Bishop a3 and rook e8. So black has 2 pawn breaks in the Nimzo. c5, and here e5. Knight d2. Got to defend c4 now. So white has 2 defending c4, and now c5, opening up the position. Bishop on a3 is doing nothing, so Carlsen tucks it back to b2. So if lines open up, the bishop is very well placed on b2. D takes c4. Big decision. Every pawn capture is a big decision. Take, and now queen c7. So connecting the rooks, but this gives Magnus an amazing shot. So a better move here is queen c6, but we're not going to look at that here, or else I'm going to give away the amazing move. Pause the video to have a go. I'll give you 5 seconds. What amazing move can white play here? White is going to use this attack, this indirect attack. So the amazing move is knight d6. Wow. In the game, queen d6 was played and then bishop a6, so white gets the bishop pair with an advantage. But let's just check out if bishop d3 doesn't work, because knight e8 attacks the queen. If you go rook a1, you just capture it, and the knight is still attacking the queen. So, after take, queen d3 is winning. Bishop d3, if knight e8, if you play rook e8, then queen d3, white is still winning. You've just won a rook for a knight, so knight d6 is an amazing move, turning the game around, giving white a big edge. So queen d6, bishop a6, rook d8, let's keep the bishop. Are you enjoying the video so far? Then why not give it a like and subscribe to the channel at the same time. Make sure you hit that bell, then YouTube will let you know when I release a new video. Now back to this middle game position where Carlsen's got the 2 bishops, so let's see how the game continues. Retreat, and now e5. So these pawns have come off the board, but there's still a lot of tension. c5 and e5 are here, putting pressure on d4. Rook takes a8, rook takes a8. Now let's go queen b3, h5, perhaps knight g4 or h4. So Carlsen just gives himself some space with h3, and now Giri played c takes d4, which is a huge decision, bringing the bishops to life. Black has to wait, maybe queen c7, queen e7, just shuffle a bit, just keeping protection, keeping eye on these pawns. Because if you take on d4 like in the game, the bishops come to life. And here it's just not pleasant. Bishop c4, the rook goes back to f8, rook d1, and here, I mean, what does black do? That's the problem. What does black do? And black might just run out of moves. So after h3, Giri cleared the situation with c d4, and now c d4. E d4 and bishop d4, and we saw this at the beginning of the video. The perfect position for a 1d4 player, the dream position. You have the bishop pair, a better pawn structure, and chances to play for a win. Your king is safer. You've also got a rook and a queen each, so that really helps with trying to win this. Now knight c5, let's go queen b2, h4, rook d1. Discovery attack on the d file, so Giri just gets out of the way, queen e6, and now bishop f3. You can see both bishops are slicing the board. Rook a2, let's just go queen b1, rook a5, and here Giri has left the back rank. So if we go back here, after bishop f3, you got to keep the rook. Maybe rook d8, rook c8, e8, got to keep it on the back. But here rook a2 played, queen b1, rook a5, bishop c3, and now Giri is completely lost. Because rook d8 check is not a move you can stop, because you cannot move the rook back, because this bishop is slicing the queen side all the way down to a8. So rook a3, and we're going to throw in a check. Queen guards the square. So Giri has to block with the knight, and queen b5. Rook a3 does attack this, but this queen and rook attacks something more important. So black does not have time to play rook takes c3, because rook takes e8 check wins the queen. So after queen b5, king f8, and here bishop c6, putting even more pressure on the knight, and black resigned. Rook takes e8 check is next. And white is going to win a lot of material. So if you play the best option, which is rook b3, rook e8 check finishes off, winning a piece. Take, 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 and you are a bishop up. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I hope you liked the video. If you did, why not give it a like and subscribe to the channel at the same time. Make sure you hit that bell, then YouTube will let you know when I release another video.